Hey, Twin.
How are you?
I am good. It's been, I don't know, it's been a fun week. We've done like a couple of pretty interesting, exciting things that we've really been trying to share with you guys on our Twin Life podcast page. So
if you are watching us, go ahead and hit the bell so you can be alerted anytime there's a new episode. Subscribe and leave a comment and let us know what you liked, what you disliked, whatever. And if you're listening to us on Apple Podcasts, go ahead and just hit that 5th star and let us know that you enjoyed what you heard or you want to hear more. And also helps other people hear about us. So
yeah, share.
Yes. So with that said, I think we'll go ahead and jump right into it.
Yeah.
Good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Hey, Twin.
Hey, Twin. What's up?
Just hanging out at the house, We've been getting out a lot more this week than normal because
we changed up our drink this week.
Oh, yeah. I am drinking an Angry Orchard.
And what are you drinking? I am drinking Cupcake Moscato because Moscato has been giving me a massive headache, like massive, and like making me just feel not the best. So I just stopped drinking it. They got me a bottle. I was like at the store and I was like, you want to get Cupcake? I was like, no, I haven't had Moscato in so long. Like, let me have this. No, both. Well, I had 2 separate glasses. The first glass, you think, okay, like, maybe it's just a day, like I'm just, my head just hurts, I'm tired or whatever, and then the second glass of wine, exact same thing, and I was just like, all right, cutting the glass of wine. And since I've had this, like I had a glass of this last night and it hasn't bothered me, so
yeah,
I'm gonna stick with this.
Well, we got a bunch of beer and stuff yesterday because we went to the beach on Friday because we went to the beach on Friday, and I think Derek's friend is in town staying with us. He's also going to work with him, and so I think we each had each had 2 beers. So we have like so much beer left. So we're just kind of like, we're probably going to go to the pool today. So we'll probably drink some at the pool today and then just drink the rest throughout the week. But yeah, so I think we could talk about a little bit about our week, and then we have a lot of did you sees. So I think we should kind of get into those.
We shared quite a bit of the interesting stuff from our week on our stories. So please make sure you're looking at our stories and checking in on them. We're really trying to up our content. We are upping our content on our stories, trying to involve you guys more and more and more in our daily life, into our twin lives.
And we've had more people, like we've had a lot of interaction.
Yeah, we have. So
like we just Amber tried what did you try?
Oyster.
An oyster for the first time. So go follow us. We'll put it in the highlights. Make sure you put in the highlights. So go follow the highlights and we'll add that one into the highlights so you guys can see. I don't know which one. I guess your traveling one. Put that in that one, or
I think I may name we have to come up with a name for just like our daily like adventures or something.
Okay, so we'll go ahead and add that in, and then we could just do like a summer one.
Sure.
Okay, so we'll add a highlight. I'll create a highlight for a highlight thing for summer, and we'll keep all of our highlights in. So if you miss our Instagram story and we talk about it,
separate it too. So it's like all throughout the years as the seasons go by, we'll be able to add things. Yeah, that's a good one. Good job, Twin. Bravo.
Yeah, thank you. Because so we'll just put like summer 2020. And then we'll just put like stuff on there. So as we have videos and stuff, so go check out our highlights and you'll kind of get caught up on our week. You'll get to see Amber eat an oyster. You'll get to see me rollerblading with Phoenix throughout the week, or actually rollerblading yesterday with Phoenix and just kind of getting outside and getting some exercise. So yeah. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and get into the Did You Sees because there was a lot of stuff that went on this week, and I have like 8% battery left on the laptop and I didn't get the charger. So we're just going to be, hopefully I can get through these Did You Sees.
Share it with me, and then that way
they're favorited on my Instagram.
Oh, okay. All right. That's fine. All right.
Well, but I
can't.
Through
yours first.
Yours first. Okay. So basically, I'm going to go through them really quick because a lot of stuff happened. So there's a couple of them that we talked about last week. So in addition to the conversation we had last week about Ellen and like how people are saying her work environment is toxic, or for her show, there was another article that E! News put out that said that basically it's not Ellen. Like Ellen wasn't named in the complaints. They have like a group of anonymous people that are choosing to remain anonymous. One person that still works there, a bunch of people that do not, that basically said that it's not Ellen that makes the work environment toxic, it's her 3 producers. And so there's this level of like elitism that like, I don't need you to work here because there's, a million people right behind you just waiting to get this job. So you should be doing whatever it takes to keep this job.
Right.
And they're saying that that's not necessarily coming from Ellen. It's more so coming from it's more so coming from the producers. So the producers, yeah. So the executive producers, the one that most people know, I can't remember his name right now, Andy. He came out and said that we're sorry, we don't want anybody to feel like their work environment is toxic. We're really sorry. We're going to work to fix the culture. Yeah. So I think that's good. I think that them coming out and admitting it, it's not like people are saying Ellen is racist. Like, they're just saying that her work environment is tense. And yeah, to be the best show, the work environment may sometimes be intense. Like, we were just so Derek already watched The Last Dance, the Michael Jordan limited series. But Jordan hadn't seen it. Derek's friend's Jordan, who's staying with us. He hadn't seen it, and so we watched it. And Michael Jordan was saying that, well, people were saying about him that he's kind of an asshole. Like, he would he would talk trash to people, he would push people, he would do all this stuff. And I'm like, well, yeah, like, because he wants people to meet him where he's at. And like, to me, it's like sometimes people will say a work environment is toxic because it's tough. So I don't know if that's where people are coming from, or if they genuinely are feeling bullied. There haven't been any like specific situations named. So we will see where that goes. The next one is, well, it's a very short one, but it was a lady named Yafix Burin, and she's Muslim. And she posted, I think it's Scary Mommy that posted this, but it says, it's a picture of her tweet. And it says, y'all, my hijab came off at the beach today, and a Black woman came up to me and gave me her bikini cover and said, my wig has come off a few times, and I know it isn't the same thing, but I remember how flustered and embarrassed I was. I hope this can be of help. I was like, that is so sweet.
That is awesome. I love that, twin.
Like, I just am awesome. So, yes, we need to have like a home applause for this lady. I just think that's so sweet. Like, I don't know.
Just a level of understanding and connection to someone else's culture where you can where you feel like you have so much empathy for people around you and understanding. Like, in my post this week about when I posted the clip this week, and I was just like, we really need to teach our kids to have that level of empathy and understanding for others, because a lot of people just don't have that. And they don't, they just look at somebody and they're just like, oh, well, like, okay, for example, yesterday we were at the pool, and this woman, super fit, like probably maybe 40 something. She was with her husband. They have 4 kids. I only saw 3. Apparently the other one's older. So he was on we were at the public pool. He was on this other side of the pool, or the other pool. There's 2 pools. There's like kids stuff. It's very cool. And then there's another pool that is like the swimming, the lap pool, the diving boards, and all that stuff. So we were in the kid part, obviously, because we had Landon. And she gets there. She has 2 little girls that are all both of them are wearing the exact same thing, same floaties, same swimsuit. And then they had a little boy that's about Landon's age. So Blake and I we're a little bit further ahead of her, and I kind of look up at her, and she's got this like just instantaneous look of like, I lost one of my kids on her face.
Oh no.
And I'm looking around going, I like, Blake, babe, she lost one of her kids. Like, we have to, I was like, keep your eyes. He's like, who am I looking for? I was like, you see that little girl? She looks just like that little girl, except she's not that little girl. And so we're like looking around, and she's like, I could just see, and I didn't even communicate with her. She's like, looked up at her, and you could just see it. Like, as a mom, you just see that. She was just like this, like kept looking around, could not find her. She found her, obviously. She was like hiding behind the slide or something. There was like a big giant slide. But she was just like, and I looked up at her, and I was like, I knew you were looking for your kid. Like, I could see it. She's like, yeah, she was like, I was starting to panic, and first she went. And so anyways, that to say that even when you look at people, like even when their circumstances aren't your own, you can easily empathize with them. So I applaud that woman for having a level of understanding that was just a cultural one, that she could relate it to herself in a way that wasn't the same, but still she understood enough to which was super cool.
Yeah, she understood feeling exposed. So, and that's something like, regardless of whether you think whatever you feel, is culturally similar to you or what is not, you can still understand like everyone's felt exposed at some point. So, or vulnerable like that. So Lucy Hale posted after, on her Instagram, after everybody found out that she was dating
Colton.
Lucy Hale, she was dating Colton. She has a photo of her drinking a cup of coffee, and it says, well, shit. And it's hilarious. So E! News posted this picture of her, and I think it's hilarious because I feel like all of this stuff had just come out with Colton and Cassie, and now they're dating. So like, I'm kind of confused, like the timeline, like when they broke up versus.
I don't care. I'm just
saying,
don't like Cassie.
I don't like her either, but I'm just saying, like, maybe Cassie and Colton have been broken up for a lot longer than we're thinking.
No, they said that they weren't going to say anything. So they've been broken up for a long time. And Cassie's been trying to give Colton crap because he is writing his memoirs or whatever. So he was saying that he was going to add an additional chapter about his relationship with Cassie, even though they had made some sort of verbal agreement that they weren't going to say
talk about each other.
Right. They were going to talk about their breakup. So they probably been broken up for a while. Like they were he had COVID. COVID's been going around intensely since March. So that's like what? 3 months? 4 months?
Yeah.
So he found out he had COVID somewhere around then. So they haven't been broken up that long, obviously. Or we haven't known they've been broken up for that long. But he was quarantined with at least for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
With her entire family. And he was saying thank you so much. My amazing woman, girlfriend, blah, blah, fiance, whatever they are. So, yeah, I'm sure the timing sounds weird, but I really just don't care. They shouldn't have gotten together in the first place.
No, they shouldn't.
Lucy Hill. We're scooping them up.
And you and I were just talking about the fact that we feel like the Bachelor, like the Bachelorettes, like actually date all the guys and give all the guys a chance. And the Bachelors seem to like the first night they see that girl and that's it. And nobody else had a chance anyways. And I feel like that's why they all fail, is because they don't give the other women a chance. Like they can't even see the other women. And it's like, no, you need to have an open heart to the other women. Like, don't just cancel them all out because like, oh, I'm going to pick her anyways. Like, no. Okay. So the next article, which I want to kind of talk about a little bit, is Hayden Panettiere saying that she was in an abusive relationship and that her ex-boyfriend, Brian Hickerson, is now, I don't know exactly who that is, if he's famous or not, but he is now in jail. As of Thursday, he was arrested in Los Angeles and is being held on a bail set at $320,000. So she basically said that she was ready to regain her voice, and I don't know if she called the police or it says that a source at E! News says he was arrested on 8 counts of charges ranging from domestic violence and assault to witness intimidation, occurring over the course of his 1.5-year-long relationship with her. And yeah, it's kind of a really short article, but it says she wrote to her followers, "I'm coming forward with the truth about what happened to me with the hope that my story will empower others in an abusive relationship and to get the help they need and deserve. I am prepared to do my part to make sure this man never hurts anyone again. I'm grateful for my support system, which helped me find the courage to regain my voice in my life." So, bravo. I'm proud of her. That's amazing. It's so hard. People that are in abusive relationships don't realize how hard it is to speak out on something like this and to separate yourself because you legitimately feel like you're in danger.
You got the power. Okay. No, I don't know if I really have thoughts. I feel like that's really like, there's been a lot of people coming out about, their personal journeys with their relationships and whatnot, especially over COVID. It's brought a lot of light and shined a lot of light on people's relationships. Mm-hmm. And so I applaud the people that have either figured out, like, what's her name from Frozen? Kristen Bell. She and Dax figured out like issues in their relationship that they were able to work through and figure it out. Like they were like, at one point we just could not stand being around each other, and they worked through it and they're doing great. Whereas people like, Kelly Clarkson and her husband who are splitting up now and they literally, these people are saying, yeah. You didn't, I swear.
No.
Okay. I swear I said that.
That is so sad.
Yeah, and she not blames, but says COVID is the reason why, because we were quarantined with each other in freaking where they were, Montana or Nebraska or whatever they were.
Yeah.
And they just, being in close quarters that often with each other, where they were mainly traveling and all that stuff, put a strain on the relationship. So we're going to see the social effects of quarantining people start coming out in a lot of people's lives. Like The Real, for example, like with the 2 cast members leaving, Amanda and Tamara leaving the set or leaving the show for, whatever reason. Tamara says because she wants to spend more time with her family. Amanda, I don't even know if Amanda gave an actual reason. Except for she
did give a reason. She said that she wasn't able to speak her voice, like have the voice she wanted to have on the show and speak the way she wanted to speak to people of color,
whatever
basically,
issues.
About the issues. Yeah.
Yeah, but the show, anyways, we already had that conversation about Amanda Seale's opinion, but it just, when you sit at home and you do your work from home and you have time to literally sit at home and really think about it, and you're not going from one place to the next, to the next, to the next shoot, to the next event, whatever, then, and you have time to be in your quiet time in your head, in your own space, really evaluate your career and evaluate your job, and and your relationships, you have the ability to make a change or a change, then, and in Tamara's situation, a lot of people making that.
In Tamara's situation, she realizes how nice it is to not be traveling from freaking Northern California to Los Angeles, from Napa to Los Angeles every week to shoot a show, and then flying back on the weekend to hang out with her kids, and only being able to FaceTime her, or her husband maybe traveling with her on occasion, or her kids coming up, and like all of the events and travel she's had to do for the show and whatever else. I mean, not travel, but a lot of events.
She and her husband have like the winery now. They've taken over the winery, his family's winery. So she also does that. So she's just very, very busy, and she has a whole nother job and career on top of the reel. And I think after 7 years of being on the show, the reel stopped provided a certain level of like not importance, but like direction for her of something that she really, really wanted to do. And now she's found that in something else. So I have a Landon bear.
Mama. Okay.
Okay, hold on.
So the next thing I wanted to talk about is the little boy who basically got his face mauled off by a dog protecting his sister. So I don't know 100% of the story. I do know their mother, her Instagram is Nicole Noel Walker. And she basically started this Instagram to get superheroes' attention, like any Marvel character. She tagged every single one of them. And she started an Instagram specifically to follow his journey. So you need to go to this Instagram. We obviously will put all the links and everything in the description. This particular little boy, so far we have, what is his name? Chris Evans. Bam. Chris Evans.
Captain America.
They're all Chris something, i.e. Captain America. And then we also have that plays Iron Man. What the heck is his name?
Plays Iron Man.
Yeah, he's Iron Man.
Why can we not? What is going on?
We can't remember anyone's names.
Yeah, it's really not good.
Robert Downey Jr. Robert Downey Jr. Woo! Bear with us, people. Anyways, so the story basically goes: this little boy was, I don't know where he was with his sister, and a dog came charging at them.
He stepped in front of his sister basically to keep her from getting mauled by this dog, and his face
bit off his face practically. Like, and when I say bit off his face, like legitimately, he has stitches from like this side of his face all the way down here. So basically his mom wanted him to get shout outs from these people on Instagram and social media in order for him to feel better. And so we have so far 2 people. So I hope that other people jump on board. You know, we want Chris Hemsworth. We want,
Robert Downey Jr.
Homeboy that plays Black Panther, whose name I can't remember. I can't remember any of these actors' names right now. Like, it'll come to me. But yes, we want all these people to come and to say hello to him. So if you haven't already followed him, share them so this little boy can like his little, kind of a Make-A-Wish type of situation. But yeah, I'm really happy for him. I think it's so cute. Like, he's like, and the part that's so cute when you watch the video is she's just like, oh yeah, thank you. And it's just like, oh my gosh, it's Captain America. Like, isn't that so cool? Like, she is so cute, and she's younger, and she just is all the personality. It is, oh my gosh, it is so freaking cute. So anyways, go check that story out. Sad story turned into a great, sweet story. So I love all that. And then let me see. I think, yeah, that's it. That's all I got. So what do you got?
Okay. All right. Mine are pretty short. I don't think there's going to be a whole lot of chat about these, but
okay.
One is that Tamar Braxton was rushed to the hospital. She lives in LA. She's doing her YouTube show with her new man. I guess I say new man because she was divorced recently, but I guess they were divorced like 3 years ago. So not really new, but whatever. It feels like it just happened, but it didn't. And if you follow, I think we talked about Tamar's Instagram where she is freaking hilarious. Like she's super funny, but I guess she's been having some issues. So she was rushed to the hospital because they found her with like an empty bottle of pills or something like that. And she was passed out in her home. So she was rushed to the hospital by her man, and no one has come out to say exactly what it was. The emergency 911 call said that there was attempted suicide. They think allegedly attempted suicide. They're not 100% sure. No one's coming out to tell us exactly what's happening, but just keep Tamar and her family in your thoughts and prayers because, she's having a little bit of a struggle right now.
Yeah. I want to just add to that. The Real came out in support of Tamar, saying that they have their wishes, the best wishes to her and her family. We're going to be praying for her. And people came for them in the comments saying, you guys are hypocrites. You kicked her off the show and now you're trying to care that she dies. People, just because you don't like somebody or you don't want to work with somebody doesn't mean you want them to die.
Thank you.
Like those two things are not mutually exclusive. Like that is so ridiculous to me. It made me so upset reading these comments. I'm like, y'all are getting ridiculous. Like, and it's been an ongoing thing between Tamar and The Real where people are saying like, oh, they're hypocrites. Like they don't even care about Tamara. She came out and said in some interview that no one has reached out to her. No one tried to talk to her. And I honestly find that crap. Like Adrienne went out of her way to make a comment that on the post that said like, we love you, we miss you. I didn't see anything from Lonnie or, I think Tamara said something, but also like there's a lot going on right now. So anyways, y'all just don't be so negative. Like just, that's all I have to say.
Yeah, seriously. Like the only thing you need to be focusing on is her getting better. Like, stop trying to incite drama for no reason. This came out like this morning. Justin Timberlake and Jessica Biel, I say this morning Sunday, but Jessica Biel and Justin Timberlake secretly had their baby up in the mountains in Montana somewhere. So they have a second baby. No one even knew she was pregnant. So she just had her second baby. So the baby's healthy and apparently everything's good. So that's really exciting. There is another Timberlake boy in the world. So that's awesome.
That is so sweet.
And then I think this is my last one. Yeah, my last one is that. So we talked a little bit about, Ashley put some books. It's in our link on our Instagram page, a list of books that to help to make your kids better allies. Daniel Tiger is kind of following along with that same thing, except for coronavirus. So they're trying to help to teach kids how to understand what's going on with coronavirus, because it's got to be difficult to explain why your kid has to wear masks now, why they can't go just, shake hands with the whatever person, or how we're not, it's funny because as a parent, you're trying to encourage your kids to be friendly and kind and sweet and wave to people and say hi to them. So they're not shy. So they're not, they're not weird around people, and they're not scared of everyone that comes by them, because you really shouldn't teach your kids to be afraid of everyone that comes by them. That's not healthy. But now you have to add that same engagement, but with no, you're not hugging anybody now. You're not high-fiving anybody. You're not doing any of those things now. So Daniel Tiger is doing an episode that
you can't go on the playground
until August. Right, can't go on the playground. You're playing inside more. You're spending way more time with your parents. Why can't I go to school? Why am I seeing my teacher on my computer screen or my laptop screen instead of all that stuff? And if you guys have any thoughts or questions about that, please send us messages. I'm sure Ashley has some pretty good advice on how to explain to your kid the different steps of it. I guess I'm sure it's just kind of taking it step by step and question by question.
Which is the approach we took.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Some people have, they say they sat their kid down and explained it. I just explained to him that, it's just safer right now. There's sickness going around. I've said this before. There's a sickness going around where people, there might be a chance that you get sick. So we just need to be safe. And we also need to be aware. Not that we, we're concerned about us, but it's more about other people. It's really for other people. Wearing the mask is really for other people. Because, there's research that says that even if you wear the mask, you're not going to get sick, but you can protect other people from getting sick. So
not that you're not going to get sick, that it's not going to keep you from getting sick.
Yeah. So basically, there's all types of opinions about it, but wearing a mask, regardless, in a lot of states is mandatory. So we just have to do it in general, and it is a good idea. And it's just become a part of life for right now. And we actually have a Daniel Tiger mask for Phoenix, which I think I talked about before. So it'll be really cute because Phoenix will be like, Daniel Tiger wears a mask, and he has a Daniel Tiger mask. And so I'm kind of excited for that episode to come out, to be honest. So
yeah, it's amazing how much easier it is to get your kids to do things when they see like either their friends or the show that they're into or whatever characters doing the same thing. So in this aspect, it's going to be really good. So keep your eyes peeled for that, moms. If you're not into Daniel Tiger, get into Daniel Tiger, but keep an eye out for that episode. I'm sure it'll help your kids understand the craziness that is this world right now.
Yeah. Okay. Is that all you got for the Did You Sees?
Yeah.
Did you hear?
Okay.
All right. So we're going to go ahead and get into our topic today, which is, and we're going to talk relatively briefly on the topic, but we have yet to talk. We talked about mom shaming in an episode before. And I don't remember what episode number it was, but we did have a mom shaming episode early on. So like in the first 10 episodes. And we discussed a little bit about the influence of like other people's opinions on you, and specifically shaming their negative opinions on you. So we want to talk about we're going to talk about the guilt side of that. So we're going to kind of go through episode questions, kind of like express our thoughts about feeling guilty about anything in motherhood. So I'll let you go first with the first one, and then we'll just kind of like alternate. So what do you feel guilty about as a mom, like right now? Like, what is the one thing that like makes you feel not great?
The one thing I don't feel good about is trying to this book, I actually have it right here. This is how to stop losing your shit on your kids. I really try to focus on not being snappy with Landon, and sometimes he does things that just annoy me, or he'll just lose it for like, I'm like, why are you crying? He's mad at me because he wanted these chips, and it's 9:00 in the morning, and Blake had just made breakfast. You do not get to eat chips. You get to sit and eat your blueberries and your potatoes and sausage, and you're not getting chips. Like that.
Yeah.
That just is what it is. And it's almost a combination of, if I give him the chips just because I don't want to hear him yell, that's not good for him. It's not healthy for him. It's not a habit that I want to. I'm not trying to encourage him. One, that he screaming gets his way, but and two, I don't want him to be eating chips for breakfast because I'm the mother, and that is not good for you. So yeah. I need to be teaching him that also. Where the guilt comes in is he's upset. So instantly, whenever your kid's upset, you're battling between like, am I making the right decision? He's upset. Am I making the right decision? Like, that's just what keeps going on in your head. So I've really been trying to not to focus on, like, he shushes me. So I've been focusing on like, okay, if my child's shushing me, then I'm probably loud. And I also need to not be snappy with him, take a breath, kind of just focus on, like, if he's yelling, I don't need to come up to his level. Like, I just need to calmly explain to my 2-year-old, hey, like, you yelling at me is not going to get your way. You're still not getting these chips. So you are welcome to be upset. You are welcome to feel this way and be upset about it, because it may be upsetting, but you need to, like, not yell and not scream about it. So just trying to balance the, like, the what my, stern voice is, or what my yelling at him and, like, scaring him voice is. So yeah, I sometimes just feel guilty about, like, just snapping at him. I'm just like, I really need to not snap at you. You're 2 years old. You have no idea, like, what anything actually is right now. Yeah. And, so that's kind of the main thing that right now that I'm just, like, really trying to focus on, is in general, just not yelling and snapping and trying to, like, take it down. So what about you?
Yeah. I think, like, my biggest thing is, I probably snap at Phoenix more than I should. I don't really feel guilty about it, though. Like, it doesn't, like, affect me, like, to the point that I feel bad. Like, I feel like when you say guilt, it's like something that, like, weighs heavily on you.
It does. It weighs on me.
Yeah. So for me, snapping at him doesn't weigh on me. Like, it doesn't, like, okay. I don't, however that sounds, like, it doesn't, because, to be honest, like, and I understand that, like, okay, sometimes, like, we're teaching him bad habits by snapping at him because he's just going to want to snap back. And so I've definitely toned that down. But I think the thing that makes me feel, I think I have the most guilt about, is playing with Phoenix. because I don't like to do kids activities at all.
I did know this about you.
I too, and I think on the one hand, like, I think it's a lot of me. Like, I feel like I should be doing more activities with him, but they're activities I don't like to do. And so I feel guilty because I don't want to do these activities. Like Phoenix, I was telling Derek the other day, Phoenix loves to do crafts. I hate crafts. I hate them. Like, it's not fun to me. I don't have like people. Okay, so Derek is good at it. He can look at a freaking box full of glitter and little, I don't know, whatever, glitter, rope,
pipe
string, cleaners, popsicle sticks, freaking cardstock, and he will make a beautiful craft. No. I have to go on Pinterest, and I have to print something, and then I have to draw something, and then and then it doesn't even look as good as a lady that made it on Pinterest. Like, it's just like not fun. It's like, that's not my strength. Like, I know that's not my strength. I don't really like activities where we're sitting on the floor building things. Like, I will help him. Like, if he's like, Mom, will you help me build X, Y, and Z? Sure. Or I can't figure out how to get these two pieces to connect. Yes, I will. Am I going to sit down with him for 2 hours and build a train set that goes up and down the steps and underneath the table and all the rest? No, I'm not. It's not fun. You do that with your dad. What I will do is, like on my Instagram stories this week, I will go rollerblading while you skate, or I'll go rollerblading while you bike ride. I'll go to the pool with you. I'll go bike riding with you. We can play video games together. We can we bake. I bake with him often, like I will do that stuff with you, but there's stuff. So I do feel guilty about that. And there are times where I make that exception. We're like, oh, let me just do this because he loves to do it. And I just want him to know that like, I do like the thing, like
you do want to spend time with him doing something that he wants to do. You want to do.
Exactly. It's not always what I want to do. Now, the only time I don't make an exception of that is I'm not going to sit and watch any shows with him. And that goes to my next question. What do you not feel guilty about? I do not feel guilty about not watching the same freaking shows with Phoenix every day. I know what he watches. It's not interesting to me. I'm not going to sit down and watch it. And he knows. He'll say, you're going to go watch your shows. I want to watch my shows. Yes. We can watch something together. There's certain movies that I'm down to watch together, but I don't want to watch it 85 times. Like, if we just watched it 6 times or I've heard it playing the whole entire day, I don't want to watch it. Like, we can watch something else. So I do not feel guilty about that. I don't feel guilty about not watching the shows with him. And I like a good amount of animated shows and animated stuff. So Phoenix doesn't like it. I have created a lot of his favorite shows by literally, and he will cry. I don't want to watch this. I don't want to watch this. I don't want to watch this. This is dumb. This is dumb. And it's not even gotten through the first Disney rainbow going over it. He's like, this movie's dumb. And I'm like, you don't even know. Like Charlotte's Web, forced him to watch Charlotte's Web the other day. Loves that movie. We were watching the BFG the other day. He complained for like 10 minutes.
Was that good? Was the new one good?
It's 2 hours. Yeah. So we only watched the first hour. Yeah, we've only watched the first hour.
BFG. I loved that book as a kid, but I didn't make it through the movie.
Yeah, but Phoenix really liked it. So we'll probably try to finish that movie someday. But yeah, I'll watch the movie with him once, but I'm not going to watch it with him a million times. It's just not happening. You look frozen.
I'm not frozen.
You were frozen.
Oh, okay.
You were frozen. You actually were frozen. Okay. Yes. So what do you not feel guilty about? Yeah.
It's weird because I feel guilty about snapping him, but I do not feel guilty about disciplining Landon, which is like, I don't feel guilty. I don't feel guilty about taking chips from him. I feel guilty about yelling at him because he won't stop crying about me taking his chips. or yeah. Like, I'm like, no, you can't have these. Like, I don't feel guilty about you not having the chips because you can't have the chips. Like, you need to eat your breakfast that Blake spent an hour making breakfast for us this morning. Landon cannot eat chips. He needs to eat the breakfast that Blake made. Or like, if I make him lunch and he decides that he's hungry, no, eat the lunch that I just made you. I'm not giving you freaking chips and Pop-Tarts and whatever because you don't want to eat breakfast. So no, I do not feel guilty about disciplining Landon at all.
it's just making sure that I know the reasoning behind my disciplining him, because if I'm snappy with him because it's 7 o'clock and he's exhausted and we've been in the car for 40 minutes and he's upset, and he starts crying, and he's not responding to anything I do, there's nothing for me to do except for sit there and patiently wait till we get into the house. Yeah. So no, do I want to sit in the car and listen to our son scream his head off? No. But if I yell back at him, he's just going to yell louder. So that does nothing. It's just, I have to calmly try my 3 things. I'm like, okay, you just not want to watch the show that you're watching? Do you just not want your tablet? Do you just not want your headphones? Do you want to listen to Blippi for 5 minutes until we get, like, just trying things? And then when nothing works, okay, eventually he'll stop crying, you know? So no, I don't feel guilty at all about disciplining Landon. Landon has to become a good human being that doesn't get in his way. Yeah. But I don't have to be mean to him to explain to him that he doesn't get his way. Eventually he just gets his way. Like, eventually he stopped asking me for the chips. I just said, he was freaking out. I sat him on the counter, looked at him and said, hey, you don't get to yell and scream because you can't get your way. You cannot have chips. No, Dad, you don't want Dad. Dad went outside to walk the dog. You cannot have these chips. You need to go back in here. If you would like to watch Blippi or something or play with your toys, you can do that, but you're not getting chips. This is your breakfast. It is right here. And eventually he stopped yelling. And not very long. Like, it didn't take like an hour or something. It was like very shortly after he stopped. Same thing. Yeah. I was trying to clean and he's trying to help me clean, which is great and so sweet. But a 2-year-old trying to help you clean is not helpful. No, it's not. Like, I'm trying to get it done. So you have to find solutions and try to allow him to like help and stuff. So I've been trying to do that a lot lately too. And I'll let you ask the next question and whatever activity I'm doing, if he wants to assist me, I want to incorporate him helping me do things around the house, because eventually it's going to be his responsibility to do these things around the house. I don't want to discourage him at 2 years old when he's super excited about helping me mop the floor to be like, no, stop, you're in my way, blah, blah, blah. And then when he's 4, I'm like, okay, like, now you can help. He's like, you've told me my whole life, in the short 4 years of my life, that I cannot help you. And now all of a sudden you're making me do something you told me I can't do. So I do like to do that. So I would encourage anybody, if you can get miniature versions of your cleaning stuff, like a miniature broom or mop or vacuum or whatever, get those, because your kid will feel super excited while you're mopping the floor that they are helping you clean the house or whatever. It'll keep them from screaming at you and wanting to like take the broom that's 3 times their height and push it around the floor. So anyways, what's your next one? Okay, so where do you think mom guilt comes from? So I think that is, and I said it a little bit earlier, I think it strictly comes from me. Like, I think that it comes from, and I think there's a little bit of comparison in there, and I have that question in here, which we can kind of implement, which says, how much of your guilt is comparison? I think that a lot of the guilt that I feel is comparison. I feel like, for one, with me, I went from a working mom to a stay-at-home mom, and it's hard because feeling like I'm not doing enough stuff. And I felt a little bit better about it listening to a podcast the other day called the Girl Next Door podcast, which I've talked about multiple times on the show, but I listened to their episode and they talked about the division of labor in their house. And that really helped me because it sounded very similar to my house. I think the biggest thing I feel guilty about is sleeping in the morning. That's like my biggest guilt feeling, I guess, which I said earlier, I didn't say this, but like now that I'm thinking about it, that's probably my biggest guilt is sleeping in. Like, I know for me, it starts everybody's day off better if I sleep in and Derek does the morning. And it also makes more sense because he goes to work. So in the morning, so it makes more, and he goes to work at the same time. Before I was going to work at 5 a.m, so I'm not waking up Phoenix at 5 a.m. to get him ready to go to school. That made no sense. So Derek has always done the morning, even when I was working, but it just has always made sense because he can set his hours. He has more flexible hours. And I think that and I was starting to feel like there was something wrong with me. Not in my head, every single mom, all the other moms do the mornings, all the bedtime with the coffee. Yeah. They get their kids up, they make them all breakfast, they take them to school, and then they spend the whole day cleaning and doing whatever they need to do for the house and the kids, and they pack their lunch, and then they get them stuff to school if they forget it. Then they pick them all up and take them to their activities. and then they bring them home, they feed them, and then they put them in bed. And they don't have anybody helping them with this. Like, they do all this by themselves. I feel like that's sort of like the projection, or at least the way that I'm receiving it, is that I'm not doing enough because I'm not doing everything. And that's just like something I have to like deal with. But I think definitely the comparison of like listening to other moms talk about it, and the Girl Next Door podcast version, it was a situation that actually helped me, because I was like, oh, like they're doing it the same way I'm doing it, so I don't feel as bad, you know.
I think also, like for me, I think mine comes a lot from like just kind of finding my, like I was doing like all the things, and then mine more comes from me more splitting the like roles and being like happy and receiving and okay with like Blake doing all the things that he does, like making breakfast and cook. He cooks a lot more than me, like way more than me. I hate cooking, which is why I don't do it often. And he loves to cook. So we balance it out with like every once in a while I'll cook. But I also like quite often I do the bedtime routine. Like I kind of initiate the nighttime. Blake has been getting up in the morning and letting me sleep in the morning, starting the morning off with Landon and stuff. But we just kind of like, at the moment, we don't have any kind of scheduled, you know, daily scheduled routine. We just kind of pick up the other one's slack, which is just, I just feel like it's just nice. Like it's nice to split. It's nice to split all the things and not have to do them all. Nobody wants to do all of them. It's a lot, even with one kid. Like having to do the bedtime routine with your kid is monotonous to do it every single night.
Yeah,
like, having to try to decide what they're going to eat for breakfast every single morning can kind of be frustrating, because they're going to say they're hungry and then not eat what you just spent 15-20 minutes making them or whatever. And having to deal with that every single morning by yourself and not having your partner with like helping you would be frustrating. So I don't know. I guess I just like that part. Like it's just nice to have the balance. But anyways.
Yeah. Okay. So, I mean, yeah, I think the fact that I just need to accept the fact that I do have somebody to help me, and just be happy that I have somebody to help me. And I think because I think I can kind of make Derek feel bad when I'm like, I could just do it all by my fucking self. Like, I don't need your help, you know? Like, and he's just like,
nobody wants to feel that way.
Nobody wants to feel that way. Like, you know, but at the same time, like, it's kind of like, and Nick Vial talks about all the time, your ego. Like, I think it's my ego wanting to be like, I could do it, like, by myself if I had to, you know. I'm not incapable of doing it, you know. And that's like it's like a constant like inner battle. Like, I can do it. Like, I told Derek the other day, I was like, if you wanted me to get up every single day and you decided you wanted me to get Phoenix up every single day and get him ready for school, I would do it. You would just have to tell me. Like, I'm one of those people, like, you have to tell, like, if you told me the night before, hey, I have to be at a meeting at 7:30 in the morning, I'd be like, okay, cool. Thanks for telling me. I'm going to go to bed earlier. But don't tell me at 11 o'clock, hey, by the way, I have a meeting I have to be at 7:30. So now I have to wake up with Phoenix and do his whole routine basically in the morning. And I didn't know about it until it was, now I'm only going to get 5 hours of sleep. Like, now I'm pissed, you know? So, yeah. But anyways, okay. So did you answer, I sort of answered this question already, but how much is your guilt is comparison?
I definitely feel like a little bit of it is, but not really. Most of it is coming just from probably my own head. I don't really care that much about what other moms are doing, honestly. Like, I like to watch and get ideas from what other moms are doing. I think, like, I don't really feel guilt about the way I raise Landon or the things that I do with Landon because of other moms. More of the stuff with other moms that I get are more of like me personally, like, I'm not as fit as other moms, or I'm not working out as much, or I'm not like eating as well, or that's kind of stuff. It's more like, you're a mom, I'm a mom. Like, why am I not like taking care of myself as well as you are yourself? You know, it doesn't really have anything to do with how I raise Landon. It more has to do with like me. So like that mom I was telling you that had those 4 kids, was wrangling these 4 kids, super fit, real skinny lady with 4 babies.
But like, her kids are big, right?
No, they're little one. Her youngest one's Landon's age. And then like, I think her
right, but she has big ones, right?
She has 1 big one. 3 little ones, 1 big one.
So the second, like, how old is the youngest, the oldest of the young ones?
She was maybe 5.
We're still where they are little. Yeah, they are little. I was gonna say, like, she probably has some help. But this is the thing, though,
does
too.
Have some help, but still.
But the thing, too, is like I was super fit when Phoenix was in school because I hired somebody to help me. Like, yeah. I know for me, like, my ability to maintain my diet and my workout routine I am not a self-motivated person, like, when it comes to that. Okay, take that back. I am probably more motivated than a lot. In the last probably 2-3 weeks, I haven't really worked out at all. I finished a 6-week workout challenge. Yeah, I finished a 6-week workout challenge. And then after I finished that, I was like, if I don't immediately start another one, I'm not going to keep going. And that's what happened. So then I was like, I worked out here and there, and I just sort of feel like I need to get back to doing that. But I like working out with other people.
It's really hard right now with COVID, though, because I feel like you get in this routine of like what you like to do and doing, and like what your working out is. Like I was doing yoga at the house like 3 days a week at the least, and then to not do it, like, and then we started packing and started getting ready for this trip, and so I'm like, I'm not carrying my freaking yoga mat around, like, you know, so it kind of eats away at like and then not having like, you know, and then moving and transitioning and all that stuff, it eats away at your consistency and your ability to be consistent with like your routine. So, but I definitely think that what I would definitely want to hire like a personal trainer so she could like just help me make sure that I'm on the track to my progress. And I also like to be like even with my like stupid things like my hair. Like when I go get when I know that I've been taking really good care of my hair and I go to a hairstylist, like I'm looking for them to tell me, you are doing these things great. These are the things that are going to keep you doing those things. These are the things that are going to keep you on track for what you want. And these are the things that you could do better. Like that's what I needed a trainer for, because I could stare at myself in the mirror and think nothing's changed until I go to a personal trainer and I'm working out with somebody that's paying attention to me and like, oh my gosh, your time improved on that, or you're lifting this much more weight. That's the kind of stuff that keeps you motivated. It's hard to do that by yourself, you know?
Yeah.
You need that other person to kind of hold you accountable and watch your growth. So, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so the last question I have is, how does social media contribute to your guilt, if it does at all? I think that kind of goes on what you just said, kind of like,
yeah.
I think for me, like fitness and working out and stuff to me is a big one. And like I said a second ago, like I haven't really worked out in the last 3 weeks. And it occurs to me the reason is because Phoenix has been out of school for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And whenever I go to work out, I hear, I don't want you to work out. And then I'm like, well, okay. Like, you know, like
that's my reason.
When he's not here, I'm just like, I don't have to, because this is the thing. If he says, I don't want you to work out, then I have to deal with the whining of me getting ready and then going down there and then coming down every 5 minutes. Are you done? Are you done? Are you done? Are you done? Like, it's really unmotivating. Yeah, it just kind of kills the whole vibe. Like, I want to like work out. I want to like do my thing and then like
be focused,
right? So I think that probably has a lot to do with it, because when I was working out, he was back in school. Like I was working out on the days he wasn't here. And then maybe squeezing out one where he was here. So I think that definitely contributed a little bit. But I don't think, I think I do a pretty good job of being aware if I'm comparing myself. I will go through my Instagram and delete people if I feel like that the envy starts coming out, like, oh man, you know, I wish I was that. Until once it goes from motivation to envy, I unfollow them. So yeah, but what about you?
Yeah, I just feel like social, I guess I don't really compare a lot of myself on social media. I guess like the personal, it's less more the things that I'm in, like that I would be envious about or whatever on social media are less about my parenting skills and less about how I parent and more about just like personal things that I want to like I'll go, like I guess the main thing that I have right now is like massive hair envy. Like I go on these freaking pages, I'm like, especially living in Atlanta now, like there's just some gorgeous hair, like African American hair. And going on social media, I'll be looking and like trying to figure out how to like do this style or braid, you know, whatever, like looks and all that. And one is just like the fact that I can't do a lot of that stuff. Like they're like just breaking out these braids on their own head. And I'm like, how are you braiding like teeny tiny braids on your own head? Or how are you doing all these things? So a lot of it just comes from just that mainly. It's probably the thing that I'm most like, gosh, like this really sucks. Like my hair's not this long, or it's like,
is it really that healthy, or I haven't been able to get it trimmed, or like I really love that color and that highlight, or just like things like that. Those are mainly the things. I honestly don't feel any of that for motherhood. Like I look at people's kids and I'm like, my kid is a freaking superhero in comparison to your kid. Like I definitely I'm just like I'm like literally like Blake and I will be out and we'll just like we'll sit in the car and we'll be just like, are we not just so grateful for our son? Like our kid is not that kid. Like I'm so grateful for the way, even when Landon is behaving his worst level of behavior, it's nowhere near as bad as a lot of the behaviors that I've seen in kids. And I'm just like, I would say that is a lot of like, that is probably where social media helps to like alleviate some guilt, is because I do see people's kids acting a damn fool on the internet, and I'm like, oh man, yeah, I've been there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like it helps you to feel like your kid and you are normal. So I think to that sense, like I try to surround my social media with stuff that makes me feel like, with moms who I feel like parent similarly to me. You know what I'm saying? That validate you. And I think that's good. Like our cousin Bo, like she posts the funniest stuff of her kids on Instagram. I'm just like, yep. Like, and Phoenix is like, it's so funny because people, when they talk about him, they're just like, he is just such a great kid. And I'm like, yeah, he is a great kid. And sometimes I'm like, I never think Phoenix is a bad kid. I do think that he gets on my nerves. And I'm just like, really, Phoenix? And sometimes it's like because I know how good of a kid he is. I'm like, come on now, really? Like, this is how you're acting? Like, yeah, like really this is not who you are. This is not how I raised you to be. His 4 years of life, I've raised him to be better human being. But the most of the time, he's just so polite, and he's like, we're out at the pool, and every 5 seconds, he's like, Mom, I love you. Every 5 seconds, and I'm just like, it's so like, it's sweet, like he always wants to hug me. On the one hand, it's like, I wish you had a sibling so that you weren't all of your energy and attention wasn't like, I'm not your whole life support of like entertainment and energy. It's extremely hard, I feel like, being a mom of one. Like, and I know people are like, well, you'd only have one person. Yeah, because I'm their whole life. Like, that's it. There's until they get friends, there's nobody else. I very much miss your son. Like, so Landon, so off subject. Do you have any more questions before I tell this story? No, that's it. So we can close on whatever you're gonna say. So Landon has decided. So you know how Phoenix likes to run cars across the floor? Yeah. Have you ever tried to do that? No, it's hard. He wants you to do it with him? To run, yes. He's like, go, mommy, go. And he wants me to bend over and run these cars and like race him across the floor. And I'm just like, Blake and I were doing it. And we were like, we're not doing this. This is hard. No one's trying to race, because he's so much lower to the ground than me. So like, and the cars are too small. And I'm just like if I had like, y'all, you know how you guys had that massive Lightning McQueen? Yeah. That would be easier because it's bigger and like higher. Yes, that is just not fun. I'm just like, the whole time Blake and I are like, where is Phoenix? Why is Phoenix out here to race cars across this? I didn't even know that Landon liked that much. No, he does. He likes to run cars across the floor. He likes to like push cars into stuff and crash them and all that stuff, which are all things that Phoenix loves to do. And he just cannot. He was so upset. Like, go, Mom. I'm like, no, go, Mommy. No, I'm not going with you. That is hard. It's really hurting my back. I was just like, and then it's hardwood. So it's like, if I'm trying to crawl on my knees and that hurts your knees, the floor is hard. I'm just like, this is not fun. Like, I don't want to do this anymore. So you need to get those, you need to get like those things that they put we got put underneath our couches. Those like feet or whatever, you could put your knees on it, and then like you can just like circles and just slide. Yeah, I think you just like slide. That would be really funny. We had or just get Blake to like push you or something. Blake and I did combine like forces. We were just like, okay, so Blake would do one lap that way, and then I would do the other lap the other way, so it was a little bit less like strenuous. You need to post this on the, like, I need to see video evidence of this. Like, for real. You need to, like, set up your phone, and y'all need to do this. I want to see video evidence of this, because that sounds hilarious. It was brutal. Epic.
epic and brutal. Yes, brutal on my lower back and my knees. It was just like I was like, oh my God. And then it kind of makes you feel like Blake is super fit, like very fit. Like he just ran 7 miles yesterday, yesterday morning? Yeah, yesterday morning, got up, we got woken up by a copper pooping everywhere in his kennel at 4 a.m. So he decided he wasn't going back to sleep. So we went and he ran like 7 miles and ran 7 miles and then like biked 2, like at the gym here. And so obviously he's not fit. So I'm like looking at him like you're probably a little, he's more flexible like this, like for like in his like hamstrings and
rotator cuffs.
Yeah. So like he can bend over and crawl across the floor just as well as I could, or Landon, but like, well, not Landon, but my son is abnormally flexible. So things like that, he just, I'm just like, I don't know. Yes, it does make me look at him and go, I just really miss my nephew. Like, why is Phoenix not here to run across the floor with cars with Landon? And then it made me miss some of Landon's toys, like, you know, the ones that we have that are like you push and then they like roll themselves forward.
Yeah.
Like he's got all these toys. Like we didn't have all of this hardwood in our place, and there's all these toys, and I'm like, he has this super cool shark that like you push a button and it drives itself across the floor, and he has like all these cars, and like we don't have any of them here because they're in storage. I'm just like, so we definitely confirmed that we need to have hardwood. So much easier for kids to play on. So much easier.
Especially like remote control cars and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly. So anyways, I'll try to get a video of that.
But. Yes, please. So I guess on that note, I think like, I don't know, just like to sum up, I think like you and I kind of said that most of the stuff, if we feel guilty about stuff, it's mostly stuff that is driven by our own, like it's like
personal,
it comes from, it's a personal thing. It comes from like our own, like we're making ourselves feel guilty. It's not like people around us, and that we try to do a good job of like surrounding ourselves with stuff that motivates us and doesn't make us feel guilty and like uplifts us. And I think that's, you know, I think that's important. Yeah. We need to like, so any final thoughts, Twin?
No, just please make sure that if you're watching / listening, please share our podcast, engage with us as much as you can. We really appreciate the engagements over the last week. We love communicating with our followers and our listeners. It's a lot of fun. It's kind of like the highlight of our days. We get super excited. Shout outs to a couple of people, couple of podcasts. The Girl Next Door podcast, right?
Yeah,
that one. Okay. The Girl Next Door podcast and Gabe Flowers for engaging with us this week. And Gabe reposted our post that we tagged her in and posted, however you say that. So we appreciate you guys connecting with us. And if you have not connected with us, feel free to do so. Share, like, comment, and rate us on whatever way you are listening to us. Give us 5 stars, please. Even if you don't give us 5 stars, we'd love to hear your thoughts and your comments. Even if you don't give us 5 stars, if you want to give us 4, it's fine, I guess, but we would love 5.
Yeah. Okay. So, yep. Good talking to you guys. And
cheers, Twin.
Cheers. We will talk to you guys later. Oh, I should take a drink, maybe.
You can take a sip, Twin.
There you go.
Bye. Bye.